Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Friday episode of our round recaps here. We have all of the NHL rounds completed, all but one AHL round complete as well. So lots to talk about this morning. Luckily, now I've hit record, not stream. So apologies if you're watching this. If you got a stream notification from me earlier, my fault. But anyway, we'll look at the NHL bracket, and then we'll look at the AHL bracket, and then we'll dive into some of the numbers, okay? So we'll start in the East. So Philadelphia with a quick 4-0 sweep of the Capitals. They make quick work of the Caps. It's an unfortunate end to the season for Washington, but Philadelphia's march to the Cup is continuing. They just marching right through their competition. They've only lost one game. They've won 8 of their last 9 games in these playoffs. So they're putting on a clinic in these playoffs. So we'll look into some of their numbers, and their playoff run continues. An unfortunate end to the season if you're Washington. We'll go down to the Tampa Bay and Toronto series. This is another quick one. Tampa Bay making quick work of the Leafs, 4-1. Tampa Bay wins that in 5. Toronto had a thumping of a game 4. I believe it was 7-0. But that was just a little too late. And Tampa Bay will move on, and they'll play the Philadelphia Flyers in the Eastern Conference Final. So we'll have 2 expansion teams in the conference final in the East. So great to see some early on success for those teams. Over in the West, we have another, this is a BDHL merger team. This is a battle of the BDHL teams between San Jose and LA. And LA, another 5-game series here. They move on. They beat the Sharks after after the Kings beat the Oilers in 7. They make quick work of the Sharks. And so they will be playing the Detroit Red Wings in the Western Conference Final after they beat up on Vegas 4-0. So a lot of quick series. There are no NHL games tonight, which is Friday. Detroit beating up Vegas 4-0, including an overtime game-winning goal by Snake in Game 4. So it'll be LA versus Detroit in the West, and Philly versus Tampa Bay in the East. So we have our final 4 in the NHL, and so now we'll turn to the AHL. So over in the East, Utica with a Cinderella run going to the Eastern Conference Finals in the AHL after they had a really tough go at it, taking on Providence and then sweeping Hershey. So the top 2 seeds in the East, Utica just took down. Very impressive. They'll be playing the winner of Game 7 between Syracuse and Laval, so that'll be played tonight. It's Friday night. So the winner of that game will take on Utica. And over in the West, we have Ontario defeating Henderson. And so it's a similar situation as Utica. So Ontario takes down the number 1 seed Henderson in the second round, and they took down the 2nd seed San Diego in the first round. So really impressive stuff from the Reign. And they'll be taking on the Grand Rapids Griffins after they defeated Bakersfield. So we have both organizations, LA, Detroit, Ontario, Grand Rapids, those 2 organizations are playing each other in both the NHL and AHL, which is pretty cool. So we'll await the winner of Syracuse and Laval tonight. But we'll turn now to the website. We'll look into some of the numbers. So let me go to the site. So here we go. We already have these playoff brackets set up on the site. But what we'll do, we'll just look into some of the playoff numbers. I know I've gotten a lot of suggestions from people, and they're very good ones. I'm dumb. To look at the playoff stats instead of the regular season numbers, and that's 100% fair because if you look at teams like Philly, right, they're putting on a show. So I'm excited. I have not looked at them yet, so I am excited to dive in and check these out. So we'll go to the player leaders for the playoffs, and we'll go to the full skating stats. So we'll just look at Philly right now, and then we might go into their team page and go game by game real quick, but just to get an overall view of what they've done in the playoffs so far. So we'll look at the skater stats first, and then we'll go look at the goalies because Big Poppy deserves some love as well. So, I mean, look here. You got Philly's top line just dominating. You have Laser with 13 points, Silky with 10 points, Pun with 9. They've all played 5 games, so Punisher knocking on the door of 2 points per game. These 2 guys, Laser and Silky, they're at or above that mark. So really good stuff from these three forwards. You look down here, just past their top line with Darth Deemer, Rudes, who's an excellent player, Big Beef God, Paul. Again, these guys are putting up over a point per game numbers here. And then on the back end, Winkstein plays D. I don't know. It doesn't say in here. This is about looking to the game by game. I don't know what position, but Winkstein plays defense. OPGM Shadow, I think he's another defenseman. 3 points, 4 points. And you look at K-Max 21 here. No points, but a ton of takeaways, interceptions. He has only 5 giveaways and 21 takeaways and interceptions. That's incredible. So a great team effort here in Philly. And so when you look at these numbers, it's not really surprising that they're moving on. So we'll go into their schedule here. We'll just go game by game, like I said. So game 1, they won 4-2. See, this is what I'm talking about when I was, I'm not sure. See, really quick, I accidentally streamed part of this, so I had to stop and restart. In the first time, my first take of this, I said that Washington took a ton of penalties, and that just was a detriment to them in this series. So keep that point in mind. Washington in game 1 taking 6 penalties. Now, I don't know how many of those were because of delays and things of that nature, so you have to keep that in mind as well, like if the game started late. But regardless, 6 penalties with or without delays is just far too many. Philadelphia, and their Philly's power play is 1 for 6, so Washington's PK was pretty good. It held up. However, you look at the time on attack, it's nearly doubled, so that makes a lot of sense. Philly having all this power play time, they spending a ton of time in the offensive zone. And overall, look, everyone putting up points in this game. Yeah, Shadow is at lefty. But yeah, it's just Washington with their penalties, man. They not going to get it done. And then Philly gets an overtime win out in game 2. Who scored the game winner in this one? It was Silky. I believe it might have been Silky. I think tied it up late because it was our backhander, I believe, on a breakaway. Washington was leading in this game, and I think Silky tied. No, that was Laser tied it up, maybe, obviously, and Silky won it. I can't remember. But overall, a gutsy win for them. A backbreaker for Washington. Actually, I think Philly scored first, then Washington, then they won it, I think. And I wanted to bring up Big Poppy. So let's get his stats up, shall we? We'll go, playoffs here. So in these playoffs, he's played 9 games. He's 8-1 in those games. He's played every game in net for the Flyers in every single playoff game. He has a 1.44 goals against and a 9.08 save percentage. Are you kidding me? That is insane. Insane numbers. In these 9 games, he's only given up 14 goals. So, I mean, talk about giving your team a chance. Holy shit, dude. I mean, you look at these first 2 games against Washington, he's made 43 saves in these first 2 games combined. Like, just giving his team a chance. A 95% percent save percentage in game 2 is crazy. So hats off to him. He's played excellent. And then they finish out the Wednesday night with a 4-1 win. The shot totals are just about double for Philly. Again, Washington taking 3 more penalties in this game, so it's tough to see. But and then they go to last night, 3-1 winners, 24 shots to 16. Another 4 penalties for Washington. So it's just a tough break for them. Rudes capping off the night, 3 points. Laser, another 2 points for him. So overall, really solid effort for the Flyers. Disappointing end to the season for Washington, no doubt. But that's just the way it is, I guess. So now we will go to Tampa Bay and Toronto. So now we'll go back. I got to do this again. Full skating stats. Yeah. I'll go to Tampa. So where the hell is it? Right here. Okay. So we will look at points in playoffs. Okay. So we look here. Contrix, 15 points, 4 games. No Blood, 13 points in only 4 games. JD, he messaged me. JD, he has 12 points in 5 games. Trickster, 10 points, 5 games. Shelfie had a really nice night Wednesday night in his 3 games that he played. Or I don't know if he played all 3, but he was in at least one of them, or 2 of them perhaps. 9 points, 3 games. So all of these guys are at least 2 points per game or higher. Some of them are at 3 points per game or higher. Shelfie and Contracts are at 3. No Blood tearing it up. He's at over 3, I believe. Yeah. And these guys are over at 2 or over 2. So really solid contributions at the top here. You look at some of the depth scoring numbers down here. You have 8, 4, 4 points. Just little contributions here and there that help really make a difference. And then if you look at some of the defensemen, Toiki, I know he plays defense, more takeaways and interceptions than giveaways. Same with Def Shark. Same with No Blood. I know he plays offense. But you see the defensemen are also chipping in as well. So overall, really solid effort again, like Philly and Tampa. So we'll go a little quickly game by game here. Here we go. All right. So again, just like Philly, Tampa Bay goes up 3-0 after Wednesday night. Some close games in here. Here's that 7-0 thumping by Toronto, but then Tampa Bay answered right back and ended the series. So not many crooked numbers here. 4-0 is a statement win, I'd say. A shutout, and you put up 4. That's pretty solid. But you 3-1, 3-2. Toronto did keep it close. 4-1, you probably just ran out of gas in this game. But if we just look at some of these numbers, 28 shots to 17, time on attack, a sizable advantage for Tampa Bay. Clearly the better team. Toronto taking 5 penalties. They killed all of them off. So this honestly could have been worse in game 1. 0 for 5 on the power play if you're Tampa Bay. You'd like to see some improvement there. But overall, good defensive battle in here, and Toronto just came up short. I guess we'll look at Rukini. I don't know if Rukini's played every game like Poppy has. Let's see. Oh, he has. So he's also 8-1 in the 9 games. So let's see. If Tampa Bay, they lost 1 to Pittsburgh, they lost 1 to Toronto. So Rukini did not play in the loss to Toronto. But overall, so if we start comparing these numbers with Poppy, so 8-1, 9 games played, only 12 goals given up. He has a 1.22 goals against with the .906 save percentage. That is fucking crazy. Like, these goalie stats are wild. Shout out to Rukini and Big Poppy. I mean, these guys are playing unreal. Look at some of these numbers. And in the series clinching win in Game 5, over 20 saves. All these numbers, man. 94% shutout in, I believe that was Game 2. 86%, 95%. Like, it's just crazy, man. Awesome to see. Lots of interesting storylines brewing for Philly, Tampa Bay conference final matchup. So if we go back 4-0, we'll take a look at this game. So 21-15 the shots for Tampa Bay. Toronto, they don't get a power play in that game, so tough to get any offense going. A lot of zeros in this box score, unfortunately for them. And I also want to say, not Canadian Iduit's fault, and it's also who's the goalie for Stangs. Don't blame them either. They played just fine. Watching these games, he played great. But you also can't win if you can't score. So not his fault. He's doing the best he can. Again, like I said, not many crooked numbers for Tampa. Like, this is probably obviously their worst game that Toronto played. But not Canadians' fault at all. If you look at quickly his playoff stats, 5-6, 245 goals against, and pretty much almost an 8,800 or 880 save percentage, just about. I mean, not much more he can do. He got his team this far to the second round. I don't think anyone expected Toronto to win a game in the first round, let alone win a game in the second round. So hats off to him. He played great, as did Stangs for Washington. Just how it goes, I guess. Let's real quick look at Tampa Bay stats. So Contracts 4 assists night. JD, he played in this game, 3 points. 3 points for Shelfie. So these guys really contributing. And then the defensemen putting up some good numbers on the giveaways to takeaways and interceptions ratios there too. And then we'll look at the game real quick in this Game 4 drubbing by Toronto. 6-point night for Drake Mallard. Junior Swisher 5-point night. Mango had a hat trick in this game, so Toronto probably was thinking, yeah, we can win a couple more here. Try and just take it one game at a time, and just not random gamer for Tampa Bay, not Rukini. But again, you can't win if you can't score, so not really hit on him either. But then Tampa Bay here, 4-1 winners. They take it in game 5. And so no blood, 3 points. Twiki on the back end, a couple assists here. Rukini, 1 goal against, 95% save percentage. So just awesome stuff. And Toronto just coming up short here. Tampa Bay clearly the better team in this series, and just how it goes. So now we will turn to the West. So we will go now to we will go to San Jose and LA. If I can figure out what I want to do. Here we go. Alrighty, so we will now look at the Kings because they also won in 5. So here we go. Baslin, 18 goals in 7 games. I mean, oh my God. If you're looking at early Conn Smythe favorites, look for Baslin. If they can get past Detroit and into the Cup, he is. I remember watching his games, the LA games the other night, and he was just putting on a show. 22 points in 7 games. Koladov, 11 points. Washko, 10 points. MLN, 9 points. Drysdale, 9 points. So these guys, some really good numbers. Baslin leading the charge for sure. So let's look at their games in this series. So they came out of Wednesday night with the only series that was not 3-0. San Jose did get one back in game 3, but in games 1 and 2, Kings putting up 5 goals each. Baslin, 4-goal night. Dark Times, solid performance, 1 goal against, 96 save percentage. Look at his stats really quick. He's only played in 6 games, but he's 4-2, 217 goals against, and 869. If you round up their save percentage, awesome stuff from him. If we go back now, look at San Jose. Just not a lot of offense going. Rip, he's doing the best he can. If you look at his numbers real quick, 11 games played, 5 and 6, but a lot of there's a 7-1 loss in there. There's a couple 3-5 spots against him, so not really all his fault. I wouldn't put this series lost on him at all. He's a very good goalie in our league, so not much he can do. When you only put up 1 goal, you have to play perfectly essentially. So that's just not realistic. So that was game 1. Game 2, another 5-3 here. Let's see, Baslin, another 4-goal game, 5 points overall. Dark Times with 14 saves, 3 goals against, 82% save percentage. So good stuff from them. Koladov also had 3 points in that game. If we look at San Jose, Buckeyes had a couple goals. She Love DJ had 3 points. So Driz had a couple points. Haney had a couple points. Just not enough for San Jose. It's 3 goals, and they lose. It's tough, especially in the playoffs. You got to tighten up defensively. And like I said, not on a rip at all. But they did come back game 3. So I think they gained some momentum after game 2. They got some goals. And they came out hot. They scored 4 here. They shut down Baslin. He only scored 1. And I think you cannot really cancel out Baslin. You can only contain him. So only giving up 1 goal from him, I think you'll take that, quite honestly. You look at the Sharks, Haney with a hat trick, and everyone else except for Driz with 2 points. And Rip played real solid in this game. 1 goal against, 93 save percentage. So they had some momentum going into last night, and then they just couldn't get it done. Only 2 goals in these 2 games combined, 3-1 and then 5-1 again. So it's just unfortunate for them. They just can't get it done. LA, again, the superior team in this series, 5-1. So just a tough way to go for San Jose. I think they were feeling good after that Anaheim series, but just didn't really come to fruition for them. So now if we go to Detroit and Vegas, another sweep in this first round, and we'll take a look at what happened in their series. Oops, we'll go to playoffs. And so we had the leading point scorer for the playoffs in Gringo. He is on Detroit, and he has been playing very well for them. Detroit is on a roll right now. Am I a little jealous that I'm not a part of it? Yes, but I'll get over it. So look at these numbers. Holy moly. We have 23 points in 4 games. Oh my God. 18 points in 5 games for Morpheus, 14 and 6 for Joker, 13 and 4 for Sloth, 11 points for Heartless. He's a defenseman, 11 assists. That's really good. Snake with 10 points. Hemsky, he was new. He got acquired, I think, after I got traded. Char 6 points, Scarface 6 points. So looking solid for them. We'll go through their stats and also look at Big Cheese, his numbers as well. So starting out hot game 1, they had a shutout. I believe Cheese is in net for this one. Vegas outshooting them 18-13. But Big Cheese, he kept them in this game for sure. Some big stops in this one. Let's see. He in the playoffs. He's 9 games, 7-2. So only losses were in the 2 games against Nashville. So just like Detroit's played in every game. And so he's also 7-2. Actually, I missed. There was a game against Nashville he did not play. I think Irish was in net. But anyway, so he has a 211 goals against and 875 save percentage. So really strong numbers for Cheese, especially in game 1, helping them out, getting outshot like that and winning. And not only winning, but getting a shutout was key for them to start this series. Some balanced numbers here. Joker, no points, but Snake, Heartless, Devil Dogs, and Crikey, they're all getting points. Joker, in a couple minutes here, you'll see he got some points. So in game 2, Detroit 5-3 winners. Again, outshot by Vegas. And again, Big Cheese coming up big for them. So big props to him for keeping them in it. 5-3 here. Run Like Hell had 2 goals. Again, she's another player like Baslin. You can only contain her. So effectively shutting her down in game 1 and then only giving up 2 goals in game 2 is a definite win for Detroit. Joker, here you go. 5-point night for this guy in game 2. Hat trick and 2 assists for him. Overall solid game again for Detroit. Balanced attack, leading the Chargers. Joker in that one. And then in game 3, 4-1 victors. This time they really turned the tide. 28 shots to 13, so more than double. 0 for 4 in the power play. Time on attack in Vegas' favor, but just couldn't get it done. Gringo with a 4-point game. Scarface coming into this one. I think Char did play. They both get on the score sheet. All players get points in this game for them. Big Cheese. 0-4-9 goals against. I don't know how that happened. There might have been a merge. This might have been a merge game, so maybe that's why the stats look odd. But a 923 save percentage. That is correct. And again, just containing Run Like Hell. Only 1 point. Detroit will definitely consider the win, especially when you consider the fact that Presti has 0 points in this game too. So not Rose Petal Killer's fault at all either. Again, when your offense is not putting up that many goals, it's tough to win. If you look at some of his stats in the playoffs, 2-5. So the record does not look great, but a 3-1-4 goals against and 8-1-3 save percentage. Not much more he can really do there. Vegas is definitely an offensive-driven team. They need goals. So just a shame that their season is done. And then in game 4 last night, Snake and Joker connecting on the game-winning goal, Snake in overtime to take the series 4-0 and to win the game 4-3. Only 10 shots on net for Detroit, 25 for Vegas. So I would definitely say the MVP for Detroit in this series. While Joker had a couple of real solid games, especially in games 2 and 4, Big Cheese really kept them in it. You look at some of these time on attack and shots on goal numbers, you could definitely tell that he held down the fort for them, and he's a big, big reason why they are moving on to the Western Conference Finals. Presti only 2 points, Dorito 2 points, Morrow 2 points, so just not enough for Vegas to get it done, and they go home. So with that all said, we now look at the Final Four in the NHL. So now we'll go to the AHL really quick because I am running out of time because I have to work. Let's see. So we'll go Henderson, Ontario, because I know there's a lot of Reign guys that watch this stuff. I will say, disclaimer, I could not for the life of me I'll show you. I could not figure out what the frig was going on in game 1. The stats are all messed up. I sat here for like about 10 to 15 minutes before I started recording, I sat here and was trying to figure out how to figure out what to do with the merging of the stats and all. I could not get it figured out. I tried so many different things, and the score was not lining up with what was told to us. So I will have to look into that a little bit more detail later on. For whatever reason, like I said, I'm not sure what's going on with the website or what, but it's not pulling the right stuff. So I apologize to the Reign, but please know that we know that you won the series. It's just the stats from game one are not working for whatever reason. So I apologize. I promise you, I tried everything and I just couldn't get it done. So I have to talk to Snake and Punisher to see what they want to do with that. That's going to be a pain to figure out, but we'll figure it out. So anyway, we'll look at the stats that we do have for you guys. So we'll go to AHL, go playoffs. There we go. Go full skating stats, and we'll look at the Reign. Actually, we'll take a quick look at who's leading. So Karchi, 35 points in 11 games, which is awesome for him. Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll look at the Reign. So they have just a few guys playing in these games. They have, 7 guys playing. So I guess this is their top line here. It's 34 points, 21 points, 20 points. JMO, Maggot, Next Join, all putting up some solid numbers for the Reign. Good stuff to look at. So we'll quickly go through these games because, like I said, I'm running out of time. Disclaimer. So remember, they won game 1. I believe the score was 6-5 for the Reign. And then on Vegas, Henderson had won game 2, 6-5. So I merged this one, I think. So, some interesting numbers here because you see all these big points from Maggot and Next Join and JMO for that matter too. 4, 4, and 3 points each for those guys. Martin's solid night for him. 5 points for him. He's if you look at some of his regular season numbers and just crooked. I think he had over 200 points. I think in the AHL. I have to double check that later on, but yeah. So they tied the series 1-1, and then Ontario gets one back, and they go into last night up 2-1 in the series. So they win this one 4-2. You just see the same 3 names: Next Join, Maggot, JMO, just lighting it up. Good stuff from those guys. Martin's only 2 points. So if you're Ontario, if you're with Detroit containing Run Like Hell, if you're Ontario containing Martins, you'll take that. 2 points is fine. So now we'll go to last night. So a bit of controversy, not really controversy, just got to understand the rules. I believe if I'm to understand this correctly, Rose Pedal Killer has played 7 NHL games and he played in this game, and you can't do that. It's against the rules. So Henderson, this game was played. Henderson had won, I believe, 5-2, but since the rules were broken, Ontario gets the FF win, and then they win this one 4-3. And so just like that, the number 1 seeded Henderson Silver Knights are going home. The Ontario Reign go to the Western Conference Finals. Maggot, JMO, Next Join, bunch of points. We'll look at Reaper here. He seems to be in all these games. Some of his stats. Oops. Oh, no, this is LM. Oh, my God. The site. Oh, my God. Goal, here we go. Oh, I guess he only played, what is going on? There's only, goalie game log. Oh my God, the site's tripping me out. So he's not played a bunch of games for them, but last night, yeah, a couple, this week he's played solid for them. He went 2-1, 3.67, 8.406 save percentage. So solid stuff from him. I want to see who their main goalie is. I'll have to check that later. So, we'll go. So, good stuff from Ontario, and they move on. I got to hurry up. Oops. I'm in the wrong space. So, now we'll look at Grand Rapids and Bakersfield, I guess. Yeah. We'll just start in the West. Playoffs, AHL, full skating stats. We'll go to Griffins. So, I know a lot of people don't like Gringo playing in both, but guess what? I'll tell you this. So when I was on Detroit, we had him playing AHL games so that way he could be eligible for both. We certainly could have had if we had kept him in the NHL, we certainly could have gotten the number 1 seed because we only missed it by like 2 points, I think. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be an issue next season. So, but I in case if you're wondering why Gringo, why is he in both? We sacrifice points so that way we could have more depth in the organization. So I don't know what to tell you. Quit crying. It's the rules. And you see a lot of guys have played games. Diamond Supply, I think this is another new guy. I don't remember having him on the team. 33 points, 7 games. Gringo, 29 points in 5 games. So, I mean, these guys are just lighting it up. Sloster, 16 points. Spritzy's got 13 points in 4 games. So, V-City, 12 points. Elo's played 10 games, solid on the back end as usual. Triton's got 7 points. So, all these guys, really solid stuff. If we go now to their game by game. So, again, so a lot of these series are interesting because what is happening here? What the fuck? I thought this was what? Am I tripping balls here? Hang on a second. What? It's that 6 games are played there. What the fuck? Where'd it go? Right here. Oh, am I losing my mind? Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Holy shit. Sorry about that. Oh my god. I am like tripping. I thought it was in 5. I thought they won in 5. Oh man, it's too early for this. Oh my god. I'm sorry about that. You're probably watching this thinking, what the fuck, dude, you idiot. Anyway. I'm losing my fucking mind. So Grand Rapids, they win first 2 out of 3 on Wednesday night, 8-4. So I'm sure Diamond. Yep, there it is. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I bet you Diamond Supply and Gringo played in this game. 7 points each. That's all you really need to say. 30 shots. Great night for them, or great game for them. I think they switched the lines though in this. So they played in this game too. Grand Rapids. I cannot say that. Grand Rapids wins 5-1 in game 2. So now they're up 2 on the series. Diamond Supply 5 points. Gringo 3 assists. Bakersfield, not much happening. Oh, there's my boy Spur. No points for them. Just 1 goal, obviously. So, and they come back and they win. So, yeah, so Gringo goes up to play against Vegas. Diamond Supply stays down. They shut him down pretty well. Only 1 goal, and Bakersfield grinds out a 2-1 win. Big old salami with big 2 points for Bakersfield. Evil weighs 20 saves, solid on net for them. 1 goal against, 95 save percentage, so good stuff from him. And so now Bakersfield avoids a 3-0 deficit going into last night, but then they lose 2-1 here. So Gringo is back. No Diamond Supply, so he gets a big goal. They get a winning goal. They go up 2-1, 26 shots, 20 for the Griffins. Condors, though, 7-6. This is a bonkers game. So Spritzy comes back here, 5 goals for him. Brymack, he's another newer name. I think he was traded to them. 3 points. Pastor, 2 points. He's always solid back on D. But if you look at Bakersfield, Dope Duck, 6 points. Quandale Dingle, that's a great name. 5. I see his name all the time in the Discord, 5 points. And Pie Guy, 4 points. So, not Edmonton, but Bakersfield offense coming alive in this game. So we'll look at the other game. So now in this final game, 3-2 for the Griffins. Spritzy, huge hat trick for the Griffs, and they move on. Unfortunate for the Condors, just not their season, I guess. They're expansion team, so you got to keep that in mind. Great start for them, and hopefully Dope Ducks and those guys will continue to move forward. So now I won't look at Syracuse and Laval till next week because I want to get the whole series for them. But we'll look at quickly because I really have to go. Utica and Hershey. I can't remember who the hell they played. Go here. So again, Utica with a great story here. I do want to spend a couple of minutes talking about them because they deserve some props, like Ontario. Taking down, so with the reseeding, if you're a lower seed and you just keep winning, you have just tough test after tough test. So, like, Ontario had Henderson in the second round, San Diego in the first round. Utica had Providence first round. They won the Calder Cup last year. Keep that in mind. And then they get Hershey, who is always good. They had a great regular season, and they took them. They swept Hershey, all right. But then I think in the first round, they had they were down 3-1 and came back, I think. So really awesome stuff from Utica. Let's check them out. Comments. Oops, not the Bears. No, they lost. Utica. So who is putting up points? So Orbit Duck and Delusions and Jordy Spams, 20-plus points each, 19 goals for Orbit Duck. Really good stuff for Utica. So we'll go through their games. So they're up 3-0 after Wednesday night. They put up some really solid offensive numbers like you just saw. So 5-4, 4-3, 5-3. Hershey did keep it close. They just could not get it done. And then, wow, this series was very close. It really could have gone the other way. All one-goal games, 2 overtime games, and they couldn't get it done. So we'll go into this game 1 box score here. So 27 shots for Utica to 19 for Hershey, and they get it done. Jiffy Jeff for Comets, 3-5-4 goals against and an 80 save percentage, so solid stuff from him. For Hershey, just unlucky. You get a couple guys with 3 points here, and just not enough, unfortunately. Just got to tighten up a little bit more defensively. And then in overtime here in Game 2, Hershey drops another game. Orbit Duck gets the overtime winner. He has 2 goals, baked with 4 points. Jordy Spams, 3 points. For Hershey, a more balanced attack. All but one guy getting up on the score sheet, at least 1 point. So they drop Game 2. Now we go to Game 3. I mean, almost double shots, 29 to 15, 8 minutes and 47 seconds on time of attack, 4 points each from Jordy Spams and Delusions, 2 points from Orbit Duck. So these 3 guys, what a line Utica's got down here, just tearing it up. And Big and Beefy J with 3 points on the back end. Jiffy Jeff doing just enough, just what he needs to do. 3 goals against, all right, 80 save percentage, but he gets the win. So solid stuff from him. And then for Hershey, again, you have some guys getting 2 and 3 points, all but one, right, doesn't have any points, but these guys just can't get over the hump here. And then last night in Game 4, Utica takes it, I believe, in overtime, right? Yeah. Orbit Duck again with another, I don't know who got the game-winning goal. This might have been merged. Who knows? I have no idea who got the game-winning goal. Someone did. It was either Delusions or Orbit Duck. Jordy Spams, Delusions, 3 points. Orbit Duck and Bake get 2 points each, so solid stuff. And Reinhardt, 3 points for Hershey. Eaglehawk, he had a pretty good series for himself, but just, again, Hershey just couldn't get the answer to any of these games. And unfortunately, they go down, and with that, we wait the winner on Syracuse and Laval. So like I said, I got to hold off on this because I want to see the whole series before going into anything, but really quick, we'll look at, you can just see some of the scores here. So Syracuse up 2-1 after Wednesday night. Laval comes back and they get 2. So we'll see what happens. So I have to hop off now. But just thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll be back next week, hopefully with a bit more less of a rushed video. This is already 39 minutes long. Oh my God. But yes, thanks everybody, and I will see you and talk to you later.